Ayo YouTube, in this video I try to survive 1 week in SurrounDead's Permadeath Mode. In this mode, you do not respawn, your save is deleted, and you must start over. Another aspect of this challenge was each day I had to at least go to a new monument or go get some airdrops, or I always made it a point to get out there and keep exploring. I had this game on my wish list for quite some time and I finally picked it up, and it's a DayZ-esque style game and it's not very forgiving. I was only playing on standard mode, but this took me countless attempts. I believe I reached around maybe 10 tries, gracing around 20 hours by the time I finished. And I lost so many great characters to careless mistakes, usually just getting lost in the sauce staring at the map, or usually loot, trying to reorganize and move things around so you could pick up more. Jesus. I hadn't watched much content on this game. Only thing I could really remember was watching someone loot a box and run around and stab zombies. So I'll admit, this took a little bit of learning, in all kinds of ways. You constantly are surprised in this game, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. Not to mention, just permadeath is always like lingering over your head everywhere you go and every time you go to a new place. And I didn't know there was bosses in this game. There's huge zombies that can do a lot of damage. Not to mention the infections in the cities, and learning that once I was shooting those, it spawns more zombies, which I wasn't prepared for at all. I mean, the amount of times I built inside the abandoned warehouse just to know that it was gone forever. All the legendary weapons I found. I had some kind of legendary samurai sword at one point. All the awesome backpacks and armor on top of that. Oh my gosh. I even at one point saved up enough money to get intel, and it showed me a box at the air base, some high tier loot, I guess, and I went flying down there in my car, and it just progressively got worse and worse, and I crashed my car, and I couldn't even get out. I was surrounded by zombies, and eventually lost that character, which I loved that one so much. And that's where it kind of gets me, is like, I remember so many characters where I was like, this is the one. This is like, I'm never gonna die. And I'll admit, it broke my heart quite a few times. But you push through, you know, you get smarter, and you take your time more. That's kind of what it gets to, is you start to get complacent and you feel like you're invincible, and you're really not. You'll just be sitting behind a fence and looking at your inventory, and a zombie crawling on the ground will take you down. But finally, I had a character that pushed through, almost unknowingly. I didn't really even notice that I was approaching day 7. But this character was fairly interesting. I had started out in a new area called New Richland, and it was extremely southeast from the Valley safe zone. And I had quickly ran into other survivors, and luckily they were friendly, but I promptly started trying to kite zombies into them so I could get their loot, even though they only had money in their pockets, which kind of sucked. But one of them did kite the boss out. I was able to bring him down a little bit, but I didn't have enough ammo. I had a Molotov, but that didn't do very much either, so I continued to loot around for some time, found the special container, and then I found a muffler attachment for my sniper so it would silence it. So later on that night, after the siren went off, I was able to finish the Backstreet Dweller, which provided some decent loot. But in this run, I also noticed backpacks seemed to be non-existent. I actually ended up paying for my first one and then promptly found some more afterwards. After looting some of the areas around New Richmond, I finally headed north, looting some of the construction area, and ran into my first contaminated area. The only other time I noticed this when I was at the airfield south, and I was quickly dying from the radioactive poisoning. Moving north around the contaminated area, I quickly looted a church and saw a white bear and a brown bear, steered clear of those, looted a gas station, and what was ahead would profit me so much more than these places. It was a bandit camp. I moved in and picked off the ones I could with my sniper from a distance, and I caught a lot of them off guard because they were busy with the zombies nearby. Now, being that I only had the little kid's school backpack, I had to do some wizardry to get a lot of this to fit in, some bagception. Continuing northeast, I looted a couple houses and some industrial areas, and I had finally made it to the Valley's safe zone after almost 2 days. I went on a selling spree. I bought a dry bag and a military bag, and then I went to bed. Starting day 3, I looked at my map, and at the bandit camp during my little raid, I'd found a military intel laptop. Along with that, 3 drops right nearby, so I knew what my plans were for the day. The first 2 drops helped me out a lot with weapons and an extra backpack, some medical supplies, and after dodging the bunny-chasing horde of zombies, I was able to get to the 3rd medical package and quickly loot that. Continuing south, I stopped in the nearest infested town and cleared out the boss and all the infestations. And one of the most crazy storms blew in when I was doing the last infestation. I was able to kill everything and loot another boss. The next morning, I finished looting the rest of the bodies in the infestations around the area. As much as I wanted to continue south, I had to go back to the trading post and dump all of this loot that I just got. I had spent what felt like ages buying and selling and organizing all of my backpacks. I think I took almost every dollar those vendors had. And as I prepared to head south, I noticed there was even more drops nearby. After collecting those, I had an industrial generator and some other items that I wanted to drop off at the abandoned warehouse. It was finally time to head towards the container. I arrived at a small town. Surprisingly enough, I was expecting some kind of crazy base. And the container was just tucked away behind one of the buildings there. It's a little different because the box actually opens up and doesn't bring up the loot menu like normal. But I noticed the town had an infestation, so I got to work. After finishing the secondary infestations, I continued to loot all the houses in those as well, and night began to fall. So before I killed the primary, I went to bed in one of the local houses. The next morning, I found the perfect bus to set up and shoot at the primary infestation. I probably should have saved my silencer for this one, but we got the job done. Surrounded by zombies, I was comfortable on top of my bus, awaiting the bigger one. After making quick work of the boss and all the other zombies, I looted everything, including the primary infestation, and I now had multiple legendary weapons and a couple gun lockers for my abandoned warehouse. It was time to head back home. I wanted to drop off a few things at the warehouse and head back and sell this mother load of items. But on the way through, I found something I didn't know that existed, a car salesman. And these cars are big boy money. I mean, I haven't even graced the amount of money you need to buy these cars. And something I'd been meaning to mention this whole time was that this whole run, I hadn't found a car that I could fix for the life of me. I had multiple repair kits on me ready to go. And unfortunately, this run, I couldn't drive around. I was really frustrated with that. Just south of the warehouse in the town that I cleared the infestation from earlier, I noticed the boss had respawned from S-Mart, but none of the zombies I had killed were there. And something to note, when you do save your game and you reload, everything respawns again. Grabbing all the loot I could, I ran to the warehouse to dump off some of my items. With just about a half a day left, I opened the map and I noticed, what do you know, more military drops, medical drops, and I need to make my way back to sell some more items. I was able to get some more supplies, and to be honest, at this point, I had every medical supply I could ever want. Once in the Valley safe zone, I was able to sell a lot of my items and hit the bed for the night. And just like that, I made it to 7 days survived. And as a little treat, I purchased a legendary sniper firearm, M2010. This is easily the hardest hitting weapon that I own, and I took her down to S-Mart, to take out the manager once again, and boy, was it a difference. One week of in-game time brought me to around level 13, and I was able to unlock the Deathbringer skill. This will allow, once each life, when health reaches 0, 15 health will be added to the player. So I have one chance. If I'm pinched off and I'm caught up, I'll have 15 health that'll pop up. So that's where my Permadeath character leaves off. I'm about 8 days in now, actually, and the warehouse is set up with everything that I own. And let me know in the comments, guys, if you want to see more because to be honest, I'm a little afraid to play this character. This character is like my baby now. I feel like I've worked so hard and come so far. It's got to be what WoW hardcore players know about, because that feeling, I can't imagine those guys being level 60 and dying too. That's even worse. But to say I'm excited for the future of this game is an understatement. They have all of their roadmap online and in their Discord and in the game. Multiplayer is coming, guys. Like, that's amazing. Running around with your friends on here is going to be, honestly, I feel like everything DayZ wasn't. And I love DayZ in different ways, but DayZ really turns into a running simulator. And this hits a fine line where, you know, you're not really running that far, and there's enough places and houses and hidden areas that you don't ever feel that bored. You know, I walk over a hill or two and I'm already at another place. And when it comes down to it, I've barely scraped the surface of this game. I saw the airbase once, and not to mention all the other bunkers, all the key cards that I have that I don't even know where they go, all the towns as well that I haven't even been to. But all in all, guys, I highly recommend trying this game. The future is going to be amazing here. It's a blast. It's rewarding. There's so much mystery and adventure. SurrounDead really brought me back to that feeling I was having in Prologue go way back. You know, it's the one life and you're really struggling sometimes. I'd say the less you know about this game, the better. Just go into it, learn as you go. It's a blast. If you guys like what you saw, like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you on the next game.